Welcome to Scars of Service, where the hidden wounds of duty take center stage. I'm Damon Clark, a combat infantry veteran. I'm joined by Dannie Martin, Emergency Medical Services, and Michael Ducote, Law Enforcement and Corrections. Together, we're peeling back the layers of trauma from the front lines, whether it's the battlefield, the ambulance, or the streets. These are the stories of what we've lived through, the moments that don't end when the shift does, and how they reshape life off duty. Raw, real, unfiltered, we're here to share the scars you can't see and the strength it takes to bear them. Let's work through it.
Work through it. That's what we're here for. So, what exactly got you thinking about it? What were you think when it hit you, and what was going on at the time?
Well, I admit it wasn't a noble gesture at first. I was in a dark time in my life. Well, yeah, once the point when I started working turnarounds and all this, had money, and it was, a total mindset of work hard, play harder.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And like I said, with everything, it just kept getting incrementally farther and farther. Keep moving that line. The line's here. I'm going to do cartwheels over it.
Yep.
And you'd hit times when you're working 12, 14 hours a day and end up not even sleeping that night. Like we'd go out to the bar, work, get something to eat, go out to the bar after work, bring bartenders or girls we pick up at the bar back to the room, kick girls out of the room, take a quick shower and go back to work and not even sleep. And I mean, that time they didn't have energy drinks. We were buying the big packs of Vibrant and drinking coffee and popping two Vibrant with it.
Ugh.
And it was steady. And like I said, it got to that point where I'm like, okay, if this continues, someone's going to die. And I'm like, I don't think I can live with that on my conscience. Kind of got the heads up from my little brother because he was trying to get to another duty station in the Middle East. And it was really hard to get into, really hard to get that duty station. And he hit me up. He's like, hey, dude, I'm going to the Middle East. I'm getting my duty station in the Middle East. It's like things are about to kick off. So I disappeared, came back, I joined the Army Infantry.
Infantry.
And that's the kind of crazy part because when I initially went in, I was trying to go military intelligence. And I had all the test scores because they were gearing up for the Iraq war. And they kept kind of, well, you can be a welder. And I dropped Baton Rouge X-ray. Weld test. There. I'm already a welder. Well, we really need truck drivers. I've got a Class A CDL. I don't want to be a truck driver. I'm already doing that. And it's like everything they tried to offer me, I'm like, I'm already doing this in my civilian life. I don't want to do that in the Army. And they gave me the runaround, so I'm like, give me infantry.
So then you went infantry.
I jumped into infantry, and I'd had a different perspective going through basic at Fort Benning, Old Sand Hill.
Yeah.
And I realized it was just a game. Once you play the game, they leave you alone.
Yeah.
And it's like some of the younger guys had a hard time accepting this. It's like, dude, they're breaking your ego. When you start doing exactly what they say, they leave you alone.
Yep.
So I already had that mindset. Basic. And it went, well, I didn't even really have an AIT because we did the OSA program. It was 14 weeks straight. I mean, it was, our AIT was just an extra 5 weeks of advanced basic training where we got to do claymores and stuff like that, play with explosives and stuff normal basic training didn't do.
Yeah.
And right at the end of it, the final march we did, which we were some of the last groups that went through Benning that did the 25-mile road march, the bayonet road march.
And what year was that?
That was in 2002.
Oh,
November 2002 when I was finishing up at Fort Benning. And 19 miles into that road march, I felt my second metatarsal on my left foot snap. And I'm walking on my heel, limping, and the drill sergeant's like, they start hounding me like, Clark, why are you falling back? Why are you falling back? My drill sergeant, my foot's broke. And he's like, well, if you want to, just get on the truck. Get on the truck. But I knew if you get on that truck, you got to restart.
All over again.
And no, 14 weeks at Fort Benning is enough for anyone. I mean, the drill sergeants knew that. They were ready to leave. So I walked those last 6 miles on a broke foot, and I wasn't the only one. I think there was 2 to 3 other guys that broke their feet on that road march.
Damn.
And came in at the end. I actually didn't even walk on the parade grounds for my graduation. My parents show up, and one of my childhood friends show up for my graduation, and first time they see me is I'm on crutches in the parking lot directing traffic. Because I talked with the drill sergeants, and I'm like, hey, look, my foot's broken. Like, well, yeah. You really want to hang out here and reclass and go through this again? And I'm like, no. They're like, well, we're just going to tuck you off somewhere if you're cool with it. And you deal with that at your duty station. I'm like, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
So I ended up walking on a broke foot for 2 weeks.
That's where your attitude of, if you can do it, I can do it better, came into him.
Yes, that's where it helped me. Because I learned really quick, basic training, it's just kind of forming you. But I learned quick with the infantry, it's a certain type of personality, the guy that goes in there, and then you cram 30 of them in the same room, and they stay with each other all the time. That's how infantry thrives.
So
it's a pissing contest.
So this being a mental health podcast, a mental health focused podcast. Well, how do you think? What was the mental health aspect like with those 30 that you're talking about, crammed all together, going through all that?
Oh, it broke people. Like it got towards later on, maybe like week 7 or whatever. We were starting to get guys removed from the platoon because people were breaking.
Yeah.
Like we actually, it was me and my battle buddy noticed it because we were on fire watch and we go to relieve the other pair at night, middle of the night when our shift kicks on, and my battle buddy kind of walks up on one of them and looks over his shoulder and notices the guy has a notebook and he just keeps writing over and over. I like people. People are good. I will control my temper. And just over and over. And it's like the guy had already, you could tell he was starting to break mentally. Yeah. He was at his wit's end. And it's like, we grabbed his battle buddy. It's like, dude, what? We need to bring this up to a drill sergeant. And we went to our drill sergeant. It's like, look, he needs to be out in platoon. This guy is going to hurt someone. He does not go to the field with us.
Yeah.
This is going to be bad. And ended up, they pulled him, did a psyche eval, and they chaptered him. They got him out. Because, the dude was having a complete mental breakdown from training.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, that's how much they would push you at Fort Benning at that time, where you self-regulate yourself towards the end of OSA.
Yeah. So then you guys finished there. Then where did y'all ship out?
We went to our duty stations. Which me and 6 guys from my complete company went to Rock of the Morn, 3rd Infantry, Fort Stewart, Georgia. And we got there, our brigade, we all went to the 2nd Brigade, 3rd ID. And once we got there, they were already in Kuwait on a training rotation. Just by coincidence, a heavy combat mechanized infantry was sitting right there on the border of Iraq. We ended up catching the last flight out before the war started. Shortly after that, we crossed the border into Iraq. We swung kind of west and came in from the west side of Baghdad, while Marines pushed up from the south. Our really big moment was 3 cloverleaf interchanges into Baghdad on Highway 8. Our working name for them was Objective Curly, Larry, and Mo. Yeah, I was at Objective Curly, which getting to the unit later than everyone else, because they had already established the line units, teams, and they were trying to fill slots in other parts. So a couple of us got hit with, hey, we don't need any more, we can't fit any more in the Bradleys. We're manned up. So you guys are going over to support platoon. They're short on truck drivers, so y'all are going to fill in for truck drivers and pull security for them. It kind of worked out. I got to see more of Iraq than a lot of my buddies in the Bradleys. They were slammed up in the tin can, maybe looking through some periscopes, where I was in an unarmored HEMTT following right behind them. And it wasn't bad. We'd see stuff, artillery hitting, Scud missiles coming out on the the first night of the war of Iraq, trying to hit Kuwait, trying to hit the camps in Kuwait.
And seeing all of that in the moment, where was your headspace at?
Well, I'll put it to you like this. When I got off the plane the first time in Kuwait, I am on the other side of the planet in a completely different atmosphere.
We ain't in Kansas no more.
Exactly. And it was a culture shock.
Yeah.
I mean, I had been to, like, working turnarounds. I had been out to New Mexico. I love the Southwest desert. Kuwait, totally different.
Different kind of desert.
Yeah, it's real desert. I mean, you just see sand in every direction for miles and miles, and as far as the horizon goes.
So it's got me wondering, what was your first? Did you ever have a close call over there? And if so, the first time, what was the feeling like during and right after?
Before we even got into Baghdad, on the push up, I mean, all the tracked vehicles went together because they can move across the sand better than wheel vehicles. The convoy I was with was Humvees, Hemmets, 5 tons, Deuce and a Halves, and we also had MSNBCs, David Bloom and Craig White, that were with us embedded right before we got hit with the sandstorm, because we got locked down with, I think they said it was like a once-in-a-century sandstorm.
Really?
That pretty much paused the war for like 3 days. I mean, you couldn't see farther than 3 feet. It was just orange.
Yeah. That had to be something to see.
And around that time, a Humvee, for some reason, overheated and caught fire and started cooking off because we had combat load. And when it blew up, I don't know what it was. A piece of shrapnel landed between my feet.
Yeah. So, you still, does it ever still remind you? You still think about it? Did your feeling of it change in
that moment?
Or not in the moment, did you really think nothing of it?
No.
It's just, you got to, it's there, it happens, you push through it, and after the fact, then you deal with it, I guess.
Then I want to say, like, 2 nights later, it was middle of the night, and I was waking my battle buddy up, and as I'm waking him up, we've got the old school 7 Alpha night vision. I mean, they were just garbage. And I wake him up, and I happen to turn towards the horizon, and I see 3 flashes on the horizon. I'm hitting him. I'm like, hey, get ready. We got incoming. And it was artillery coming in on us.
Oh.
They overshot us by about 500 yards. And it impacts, and at that instant, when the impacts hit behind us, there were 6 flashes on the horizon off to the side of us. 2nd Brigade's artillery. And it was quiet the rest of the night because our artillery was a lot better than theirs.
You had better aim.
Yeah, we could dial it in.
Oh, man.
But I mean, with that push coming up, we'd see like T-72s and little palm groves. You could tell they were there mainly because as you're coming up, you could see a burnt spot.
Yeah.
And it was like the Apache longbows. Like, it's like, wow, this war is not going to be anything. All we see is blown up tanks on the way. Air support is amazing for this.
So when did y'all start getting in?
When it got real?
When it got real.
The outskirts of Baghdad. When right at the time the Thunder Run started. On April 7th, 2003. That's the day I was really born in battle. Only in early that morning. It was a secured location. We were in the middle, brigade, little command post set up in some buildings on side the roads. Me and my buddies just sitting in the Hemmet, catching a nap while we could, because most of the time we were pulling 50% security. He'd sleep an hour while I was pulling security and vice versa.
Yeah.
And this went on for weeks.
Really?
We pulled 50% security, the whole push up. We both had a chance to go to sleep, so we racked back in the truck. I wake up to, I can't breathe from the concussive force. I remember correctly, it was a Frog 7 launcher, which I'm not sure if the Iraqis launched it or if someone else hit it and it launched, but it hit the building that our brigade was using as a command post. We were maybe 50 meters from it. And when it hits, I wake up gasping, but there's no air from the concussive force of an explosion. And I look to the side, I just see black smoke. And when I turn, we've got our assault rucks, all kind of stuff on the doghouse in the middle on the Hemmet. So I can't see my battle buddy. All I can see is the windshield in front of him is spiderweb. So I'm trying to climb over assault rucks and gear. And he's sitting there, he's got earphones in. And I don't think he even realized it. Like, he was so tired, he slept through an explosion.
Yeah.
That was the day. And when that happened, that's when our line units, but Alpha and Bravo, were up ahead, and they were starting to take the Cloverleaf intersection. They told us, hey, y'all got the ammo? They're going to start needing a supply. Y'all just go ahead and push up. And we did the push. Sometime that night, like the highway on Highway 8 was covered with mines because they were thinking we were going to try to push through the night. So it was just anti-tank mines with a shovel of dirt on top of it or sand in the middle of a highway. You could clearly see in daylight. Well, what they didn't realize was our sappers and combat engineers literally were crawling out there with a rope tied to them, and then they would crawl back. And then they would slowly pull all the mines off the side of the road without setting them off. So the guy sitting on the other side pulling secure on this minefield didn't realize that it was getting cleared because they didn't have night vision. By the time they realized it, they were done.
Yeah.
We already had guys on the other side. And so we pushed through that, and we're going down Highway 8, and we started going, and the Iraqis knew we're all kind of hunkered down. You weren't really seeing anyone. You'd pass, and it just looked like a ghost town. We'd find uniforms on side the road, no Republican Guard, because they were dumping their uniforms when we got to Baghdad. They didn't want to be seen in Iraqi uniform. Well, when we pulled up, we're coming down Highway 8, sitting there, then all hell breaks loose. You let your armor pass. The Thunder runs were going on. The armor had already went. The Bradleys, Abrams were up ahead. We were a support platoon coming up behind them.
Yeah.
They'd let us pass, then they were stepping out in the road behind us. We're sitting there, and RPG flies by the window, passes the whole convoy up, and the firing starts in the RPGs. You're trying to see, it's like dust is coming up, guns are firing up, Mark 19s are kicking off, and it's just suppressive fire, trying to get them to put their heads down. My buddy was driving to him, and he's like, hey, there's a body up ahead in the road. And as we get close, I'm like, dude, that's one of us. We got to stop. We can't leave him here. We can't leave him there. He's wounded. He starts to hit the brakes, and basically the truck behind us kind of rammed us. Like, no, go. This time we didn't have radios. The support platoon, the platoon sergeant and the platoon leader had a radio in their vehicles. We had nothing. We had no communication, and no one was stopping.
So having to leave him there.
It broke my heart.
Yeah.
And what he had told his gunner that day, he's like, hey, I'm going to take the gun turret when we do the push-up, because they were kind of escorting the ammo and fuel up to the line units. So First Class Marshal gets up there, and he's like, I'm going to take the gun. And he'd kind of been telling his guys, he's like, yeah, I got a feeling I'm not coming back from this one, but you guys are going to be okay. And he was on the gun turret, and he took a RPG to the chest.
So did that at that point change your mentality going forward?
This is real.
Yes.
It's already RPG just passed us up. I'm like, oh, this is the Wild West. It's war. This is war.
Yeah.
Yeah, face down. And it's like, we got to stop them. But it's like, no, we don't leave people behind. But at the same moment, we're carrying the ammo and fuel for the line units that are on these intersections. We keep pushing up. We end up leaving him, and they ended up finding him about a week later. It was difficult.
Did you see that yourself?
No, I didn't see the body on that. I saw him late, like right after he was hit by the RPG, because we're full body armor. I didn't see his face or anything, but he took it to his trauma plate, and it took him completely out the gun turret of the Humvee. From that, we steady pushed on, and we pulled over, and we ended up at Objective Curly. We roll into Curly, and it's chaos. Bravo Company had been fighting there for a couple hours already. They're bringing in enemy prisoners. They were dug in around on-ramps and off-ramps of the overpass. They had trenches dug in. They were waiting for us there.
Wow.
We pull up, and they're like, okay, yeah, just get all the ammo and fuel trucks in one spot close together. There was no gun turret on the Hemet I was on, but we did have the mortar platoon's loadout of 120 millimeter mortar rounds. There was close to about 600 of them on there. Kill radius on these things are like 75 meters.
And they were all in one truck.
All in one truck. And then you have trucks with 50 cal rounds. The other one, pallets of Mark 19, 25 millimeter for the Bradley fighting vehicles. Couple Hemets were the 120 rounds for the M1 Abrams. We bailed out, and there was, like I said, there was already prisoners of war they were getting, and Bravo Company had some of them. Little Concertina barricade, and they had them guys in there, and like I like to call them, the people that don't exist were questioning them. You knew they were Americans, but they didn't dress like us.
Yeah.
And they fluently spoke the language, and they'd question them, and then they'd push them off to the detainment center. So like, hey, infantry guys, y'all go help these guys for the EPWs. So we're hunkered down there, and it was me and one of the other guys from headquarters. We're sitting
side by side. We're laying on the sand and we're pulling security over these prisoners. And bullet comes down and goes right under the form of my M16 and up under his. And just like ricochet. And the only thing I can think of at that exact moment is I look over at him and I'm like, dude, we should move. Someone sees us.
Oh, that was your thought?
So we scoot back into this palm tree that's laid over. I mean, we're in the palm frond. I mean, we were in that firefight for another 6 hours. But while this is going on, I mean, it keeps intensifying. Then that's when the first RPG slams into one of the ammo trucks. And ammo starts cooking off. And starts igniting the vehicles on side of it. There was some first lieutenant. He wasn't part of us. There was a lot of guys that volunteered to go. We had some guys from 10th Mountain, like Cav Scouts from 10th Mountain, that just joined us in support platoon. Volunteered, to help man y'all up.
Yeah.
This lieutenant, I don't remember his name or anything, comes up. He's like, hey, y'all need to move the prisoners and get between the on-ramp and off-ramp of the intersection for protection with these vehicles cooking off. The prisoners we had, which weren't Iraqis, they were Syrians. They were Syrian mercenaries. They fight. They're tough as nails. They fight.
Syrian mercenaries?
Oh, yeah. I know this because I was close enough when they were questioning him.
Yeah.
And I could hear what the special operation guys were saying. I remember one of them saying, he's like, every one of these MFers are Syrians. And just kind of frustrated walks away. And he's like, they're all hired guns.
Conversation with the shadow people.
Yeah.
And we get there, we get all the EPWs there. And when the lieutenant's saying that, it's like, sir, we need to move farther. We're not far enough from the blast radius of all what's on those ammo trucks and fuelers. We had HEMTs loaded down with JP8. We had a truck with MoGas, which is their version of gasoline.
Yeah.
This is all parked in one area and ammo's cooking off.
Which is the reason why it all shouldn't have been in one area.
Well, like I said, we roll into the middle of a firefight that had already been going on.
Yeah.
I mean, I hold no one responsible for that.
It just happened. War is hell. So it's basically hindsight.
I mean, we hadn't been in a large-scale war like that since Desert Storm. And not taking a city the size of...
Yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm.
And now, like at the same time this is happening, this is when some of our Abrams are doing the Thunder runs. They're pushing all the way into our Baghdad, like into what became the Green Zone.
Yeah.
They were running in with Abrams and just to show that, hey, we go where we want. You're not going to stop us. We get there and I'm looking at like the Syrian mercenaries are looking at us and they're like, dude, we need to move. They're motioning like, we need to get away from here. And everyone I question, like, no, y'all just hunker down. And finally, a special operations guy walks up, hey, I need some volunteers to move these vehicles. And I remember looking at my battle buddy and I'm like, do you want to stay with prisoners and move vehicles? He's like, I'll watch the prisoners. And I'm like, all right. And I jump up and it was like, I think it was 7 of us from support platoon. We run out there and we're jumping in the vehicles to move them. And it's like anything that's not on fire. I actually jump into the one I came in, which all my gear was in and had the mortar rounds, which that was the most highly explosive vehicle of the bunch and was the last one to pull away from there. I mean, ammo's cooking off by me. I'm sitting in there and that same special operations guy, that Green Beret, is on side of me and he's like, hey, you got a fire extinguisher in there? So I stop and he's just pulling fire extinguishers off every vehicle. I got to give it to him. He's just standing there 3 feet away from 50 cal rounds cooking off and he's emptying fire extinguisher in each hand.
That's freaking wild.
I mean, it was like some Rambo stuff.
Damn. Yeah.
And so I'm pulling off from there, and I'm like, I don't see where the other ammo trucks went to. Because, I mean, it's smoky, firefights intensifying. So when I pull up, the first group I recognize is 2 other guys I met when we got on rear detachment at Fort Stewart, Private Lopes and Private Lopez. See both of them, and they're on a mortar Humvee. I'm sticking with the mortars.
Yeah.
Pull up to them, and then that's when they decide, look, we pushed in this far with the Thunder runs. We're just moving ahead. We got another unit coming up behind, and they're going to finish securing this cloverleaf. We're going straight into the government complex. So I tag along, and I mean, it's 2 or 3 HEMTs, like fueler, a deuce and a half, some Scout Humvees, like 2 Bradleys from Bravo Company. Like, it was not a complete platoon at all. We push in and set up in next to the tomb of the founder of the Ba'ath Party, the guy that led Iraq before Saddam.
Okay.
And just hunker down there. I slept in the streets of Baghdad
and they were still bombing it. Like there was bunker busters hitting. And I mean,
That is
bunker
crazy.
buster might have hit a mile away and you'd feel the shockwave come through the concrete.
Yeah. So that was all of that was your first experience getting.
That was all on April 7th. That all happened on April 7th, 2003. That's the day I earned my combat infantry badge.
And how long did you stay over there?
That tour, after April 7th, it settled down. Because, I mean, we camped out. We were sleeping from that day on, we slept in what became the green zone. I mean, wake up in the morning and see the cross sabers for Saddam's parade grounds.
Yeah.
We were settled down there for a while. And another unit, it was one of the air cavalry units. They were having some trouble out in Fallujah. And I guess the Army looked at it as like, well, we got a heavy combat mech brigade sitting right here, Baghdad, and they're just sitting around playing spades and dominoes all day in the government complex.
Nothing to do. Let's go.
So it's like, hey, we're going to bring this air cavalry unit out of Fallujah and y'all are going to relieve them.
Yep.
Let's just say once we settled into Fallujah, it calmed down a lot to the point where our scouts were taking the doors off of the armored Humvees and riding around Fallujah trying to get shot. Because if they got shot at once, they came straight out. They just marked the coordinates where they got shot.
Yeah.
And that night, they got a heavy combat mechanized brigade kick doors all night for them. So it calmed down a lot. I mean, we'd still get mortar rounds on the clock. Between 9 and 10 p.m. every night, we got hit with mortars.
So at that point, did you notice anything behavior? You know, you said they were taking the doors off, trying to get shot, you know. So
We're trying to get shot at.
so they could handle business. Right.
Yeah. Well, we were there to fight a war.
So just how wild did it get, you know? Because that's a special person with a special mentality. But going through that, I know you've got to be watching this whole time that you're there. I know you've got to be seeing the mentality changing, you know, and the mental health. I mean, tell us about
Well,
that.
I think one of the big things that bothered a lot of us is when President Bush came on, it's like, well, I'm declaring an end to the major fighting in Iraq. I mean, the first thought in my mind is, we just got here. I mean, they're still there. We had piles of Republican Guard uniforms. Like, they just went to civilian clothes. From what I saw, Saddam didn't expect to beat us. He knew he couldn't go toe-to-toe. So what they were doing was he intended to go to guerrilla warfare. He's like, oh, if you're going to come here, yeah, you're going to take the country, but we're gonna make you pay for it. It's going to be attrition.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, I remember the first time I called home to my mom's, and I used Craig White's satellite phone. I remember clear as day, we were standing in line, and I called home to my mom, and she was ecstatic. She's like, your younger brother just called earlier today. This is the first time they had heard from either one of us for like the past couple months.
Yeah.
Because we had no comms. And I just tell her, I'm like, they called the ceasefire too soon. This is going to be bad. Yeah. I'm like, we're fine. We're getting Iraqis that were telling us, hey, before the war started, they were putting weapons in this house, in this influential neighborhood. And so the line guys would hit it, and it would be like every room. One room would be the AK-47 room, floor to ceiling. Next room was RPG room, floor to ceiling of crates. And that's what it was. It was all over the city. It was these weapons caches.
So I'd imagine the frustration.
I mean, I've got pics
of hearing that when he declared that. You know,
and it's like
knowing what y'all looking at.
Yeah, it's like they're ready for guerrilla warfare. This is what they were planning the whole time.
And must have been frustrating.
And I mean, this is the first tour. You didn't have IEDs, you didn't have like really roadside bombs. It was still RPGs and mortar rounds. And they'd shoot at us. They'd try to shoot at you a lot. It was still shooting. So, I mean, I joke about it. I'm like, yeah, the first tour was gunslinging. It was the Wild West. Yeah. Wild West in the Middle East.
So going through that, and you stayed, how long total did you stay in the Middle East?
The first tour was 10 months.
How many tours did you do?
I did two tours. First tour and second tour were night and day. I mean, it was completely different. The first tour was combat. I mean, even Fallujah settled down after a while. Yeah. Then we turned it over. I don't recall what unit took over after us when we came back stateside, but it devolved terribly after that with that unit. And that's what led to the Marines having to come in and what became the Tiger Brigade of Iraqi Army.
Yeah.
They had to retake Fallujah. And I mean,
see, that's the one I heard about.
yeah. Yeah, the Marines, I give them respect. They went through hell for that. And I mean, my second tour I served with, I did a lot of operations with the Tiger Brigade. Okay. And I mean, like when we met them on the second tour, they literally introduced one guy to like, hey, here's the only guy in our unit that hasn't been shot. And it was like, he was the novelty. He wasn't injured in combat. Wow. Like anywhere in my life, I try to pick up the language where I've been.
Yeah.
When I worked around South Texas, I learned my Spanish. Iraq, I picked up an Iraqi dialect of Arabic. So I'd work with a lot of the Iraqi police and Tiger Brigade without interpreters.
And
it's just as a necessity. And plus, I find it's respectful. When you attempt to speak to another person in their language, you try to talk to them, it goes a long way in goodwill.
It does. It does. I've noticed that, you know, when
they might laugh at you on a pronunciation, they're like, no, you and they'll correct you on it. And it kind of does a little bond to it. Working with the Tiger Brigade, you could see these guys, they wanted a better Iraq.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the chaos in 2005, it was bad. The EFPs were happening. I mean, Tiger Brigade guys, they were Iraqis. This was their country.
Right.
And this is like 2 years after the invasion, and it's chaos. We had a pretty good platoon leader on the first tour. But like all the Joes and stuff and NCOs, I think what we had, Sergeant Casper had some combat tours with, had been to combat with Rangerback. Don't remember.
So what was...
And then we only had like one other staff sergeant that was with 10th Mountain in Somalia, or what became Black Hawk Down.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was at the Olympic Stadium.
Oh, wow.
So they pulled us over, and here you got, I think it was 4 specialists with combat infantry and had been to Iraq. So they leaned hard on us.
Yeah.
And I mean, we had some really good squad leaders, NCOs. Like I had Staff Sergeant Stemmel, whose nickname was Cupid.
Cupid?
But he was old Army.
Yeah.
And I loved him for it. He wasn't none of this, oh, well, you can't touch me. You messed up, he was laying you out.
Yeah.
And I became one of his team leaders in 3rd Squad. And he was the type of soldier that me and the Alpha team leader had to go get some Joes out the barracks, make sure they weren't late for formation. We made the Joes run. Oh, we're team leaders. We don't have to run. We got to the back of the unit. We were 15 seconds late by his watch. And that was still 15 minutes before, or 30 minutes before formation.
Yeah.
We were going to the field. He's like, put on your body armor, grab your rucksacks. Put it on. And he smoked us to muscle failure before formation. To prove a point in front of the entire company, the entire battalion. He's like, I don't care if you're a team leader, no, there's no special treatment. It's my way or nothing.
Yeah.
But he made better soldiers out of us.
Hell yeah.
And really, that's what we needed, that old Army mentality.
So then you fast forward to 2 tours out there, and then you come home. And there's nobody shooting at you no more, or RPGs, as far as I know of.
Technically, I didn't come home.
That's what we get into.
I couldn't. I saw that from the first tour. When I got back, I didn't want anyone to meet me on the parade grounds. I knew that I needed to decompress. I mean, months, all I saw was blue skies and tan. Everything was tan. And landed in Savannah, ride the bus back to Fort Stewart, and just the green trees. It's like August in Georgia, and it's like, it hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
Get there on the parade grounds, there's my mom, my dad, and my little sister and her boyfriend. And I didn't want to see them. Y'all should have left me alone. I'm like, I was going to come home.
And there goes
ready.
The mentality that people don't see, the unseen wounds and everything else. They want to know, well, we haven't seen you. Why you don't want to see us? You should be as excited to see us. That's the stuff that people don't see and don't end when the shift does.
The stuff you have to unpack.
You have to unpack, and it doesn't end when your tour, your shift, however you want to say it.
Yeah.
That's the things that people don't understand. And that's also the thing of why what you should want to see us, of why if you did want to reach out, people feel like they can't reach out. Why would you reach out to someone in a civilian life, in your case, that has no clue? You don't even know why I am how I am. How are you going to help me? And that's a lot of tucking it down, and a lot of suicides.
Well, see, at the period I came back from my first tour, my younger brother got out of the military. He was working military intelligence for the Iraq War. And we were 600 miles apart the whole time. Never saw each other. Well, I didn't see him, but somehow he knew where I was until I got to Fallujah. He lost me in Fallujah.
Yeah.
But when we got back, he gets out and then he moves. He doesn't come back home to our hometown. He moves to the city, actually where my sister was living at the time. And, I come back and it was the same thing. People were like, God, y'all come back from war and y'all are just assholes. No, what y'all are not understanding is we've just come off of months of, we get stuff like my platoon leader would come on the first tour. And he's like, hey, Clark, if you get a chance this week, shave. The trivial stuff wasn't priority. Right. It was full security, keep yourself and your brothers alive.
Yep.
And it was the same thing on the second tour. You got to be your brother's keeper. And you get into the mentality. I mean, you kind of set your watch by, if you're getting mortared every night between the same hours, okay, well, we're going to get hit by mortars between 9 and 10, so I'm going to lay down at 8:30. So I'm going to go ahead and put body armor on and my helmet, and I'm going to lay down on my cot or whatever I'm sleeping on. And, you hear the mortars hit and feel around. Hey, everyone, all good? Yeah. Oh, it hit. It didn't hit nothing. It hit empty desert. Okay. And then you just take the body armor off and go to sleep. Because it's like once they fired, our mortars were chomping at the bit. Our guys were dead on, and they're ready with a 1 in 20 mortar round ready to hang. Yeah. And it's like, just give us the word.
So you're going from that to
survival. And life was everything made sense.
Then before you know it, you hear, okay, it's Sunday, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to go eat lunch at mom's, I'm going to visit with the family, then Monday I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to, you went from that situation to this. And how efficient was the military in debriefing and getting you to go back to adjust back to civilian life after that,
Well, see, I think out of my first tour, we handled depleted uranium because the support platoon, they were using depleted uranium for the armor-piercing round, the DU armor-piercing rounds on the Bradleys and the Abrams. So, I got checked. Oh, no, you're not radioactive. Or, you're not radioactive at levels we have to worry about.
Good news.
Hey, pretty much all of y'all have some kind of blood parasite, but it's harmless. It'll go away on its own.
Yeah.
Although we had guys come back with, you're in a combat zone. The facilities aren't there. People got dysentery. People got malaria.
And those are all the scars you can see.
Yeah.
But how about those that we couldn't see? How about those?
That's kind of what I'm saying with the coming back, where I didn't want to see anyone at first.
And unless you walked your shoes over there, there's no way.
Yeah.
And I know in all three of our fields right here, I'm going to speak for you too, Mike. One of the biggest pills for me to swallow, and it sounds like you too, is understanding that people don't understand.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yes, indeed. Really, really, really understanding that they can't understand. I know I had a lot of mental peace with myself, and I don't know if we ever fully do get to that point, but when you do realize, stop trying to explain it. There's no way to explain it. Just be content that they can't understand. With that being said, the scars don't go away.
No.
And in a lot of ways, like I said earlier, you do feel if I needed to reach out for anything, it sounds like you too. Who do we have to reach out to? Someone who we already established doesn't understand. You think you know how to tie shoes you never even wore before. And
one song really impacted me. It was a verse from a song band, Kingdom of Sorrow. That song is unspoken words. It has a verse that says, "Some roads take you places in life from which you can never return. Lost souls will try to guide you back to places you never were."
Exactly.
That right there, it made a lot
Yeah.
click for me.
Yeah.
I got to look that up.
Oh, and that makes perfect sense. That makes
Yeah.
absolute perfect sense.
Yeah.
And looking back, even like after I got out of the Army, I mean, I was stop lost 10 months to go on my second tour. So when I got out, I didn't come home. I moved up to North Carolina. Learned the tattoo, was working the a buddy from high school offered when I got out, he offered to teach me the tattoo. He was also a veteran. He was stationed at Fort Bragg, and got out and just stayed there. So I'd pop in, visit for a weekend, but I tried not to stay too long because it was like I was scared for my family and stuff to really see.
The real you
Yeah.
now, the new you.
Yeah, I wasn't
you.
ready for it yet. And it's like when I left North Carolina, I moved to South Carolina. And while I'm tattooing in a shop in South Carolina in Myrtle Beach, you're working 14-hour days, 7 days a week. Because, I mean, it's a beach town. You make your money then.
Yeah.
Why are you never stressed? Like, it's like no one ever gets a rise out of you. I'm like, well,
If you'd only know.
no one shot at me today, and no one's tried to blow me up. So it's a pretty good day.
Yep.
I'm like, other than that,
But again,
I'm not worried about it.
But again, that's something they can't. What you mean nobody shot at you today? They don't, like you literally mean nobody shot at me today.
Yeah.
You know,
I didn't have to.
you
fight
say
for
that
my
to
life.
Yeah, you say that to somebody else. I mean, even me sitting here listening, trying to understand the story you said you were at. Even me right here talking with you. Nobody shot at you today. My mind went. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, that wouldn't have been my thought. But I mean, you literally lived it and meant nobody shot at me.
Yeah. No one tried to kill me today.
And
Great
again, that's another they
Great
don't
day.
understand. You know.
But like I said, on my first tour in Objective Curly, it clicked after it kind of settled down after the incident at Objective Curly and the push into Baghdad. I just started thinking about it. I'm like, life makes sense. I'm like, when you distill it down to one thing, it's just survival. I'm like, everything else is nothing. It doesn't matter. I'm like, that's the simplest thing. It doesn't matter. I know a lot of veterans say, oh, you're an asshole and you just don't understand. And it's like, the way we're looking at other people is like, you're making mountains out of molehills. I'm like, this doesn't matter. I mean, no matter which way this goes, everyone's still breathing. That's a win.
But again, walk in your shoes
Exactly.
to be able to have that comparison.
Civilians can't understand. We don't understand y'all perspective. And I think that's what hurts a lot of veterans.
But how are you supposed to bridge that gap? Like, they never going to understand. And after a while of doing the job, like you in infantry in the Middle East, I mean, after doing it long enough, it feels like that civilian part of you is gone.
Do you forget what that civilian part of you was? Do you? Do y'all find that you do?
I feel I lost it for many years, many years. It'll never be the same for me.
No, it'll never ever be the same.
No. And
I'm definitely not the same person.
No, none of us are. But I ask that because, like you said, I keep saying they can't understand you. In return, said, yeah, then we can't. And I guess my question is do you forget where you came from? Does the new you like make you forget? Like
I'm putting it like this.
before military, like how you were, your thoughts before military.
For my graduation from basic, I had been same 30 guys holed up in that room for 14 weeks. My parents came and they can take you back to the room. You can go eat and stuff. You get a day pass.
Mm-hmm.
I went with them. We went to eat and they're like, well, you got time. You want to just come back to the motel? We got a room and we can hang out there and just relax and, freedom, be out of the barracks. And I'm sitting there and buddy I grew up with, me and him sitting there and it just, my mom, my dad's there and it clicks. I'm like, I'm not with my platoon. Yeah, I'm alone. And I started having a panic attack. Now, I quit smoking cigarettes cold turkey in basic. First 2 weeks of basic was hell because I was cold turkey, drinking, cigarettes, drugs, everything. Basic kept me so focused, I didn't even think about wanting a cigarette till that moment. I'm away from my platoon. and I started having a panic attack. And I just look at my buddy. I'm like, hey, let's walk to the store next door. And I went and bought a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And it's like after that, I just wanted to get back to my platoon. I wanted to get back to.
So it's almost like a homing pigeon type mentality. It's always going to go where it knows to go until it's been somewhere for so long in a different place, different atmosphere, and it forgets. And
Well, that's
where
the
it needs to be.
psychological part
And that's
of
where it needs to be.
military training. That's unit cohesion.
Yes.
You ram them together, and yeah, there's gonna be some bumps and scratches. I mean, even when we're at duty station in Georgia, I mean, it was nothing to do, work the whole day, and people would start getting mad at each other. And before we go to the barracks, we had a sand pit, and almost every day you'd see two guys that they had a beef. They get there in the sand pit, they'd beat each other, and they go drink a beer together because it was just that's how we'd work it out.
But that and that's what that living and fighting and training and possibly dying together
Forms of bond.
forms a bond that I have longed for and searched for since I have gotten out, that I finally came to terms with myself that I'm not going to find that again.
But it comes with a price.
Yeah. And my mental health.
Which is
No, even
a
if
big
it
price.
comes with a price.
Yeah.
But that transition, you know, I mean, how has it been for you?
Once I've realized it, I've been more mindful. When I was in North Carolina, South Carolina, I was staying busy. I didn't think about it, but I wasn't home. Moved to Houston, and Houston reminded me of Baghdad.
That's what I was. Yeah.
I lived on Westheimer.
Yeah.
I lived between the 610 Loop and Beltway 8, West Houston,
Right in it.
right in the center. And I had to get out of Houston.
Yeah.
I sat there one night with 45 ACP loaded, sitting on the coffee table in front of me. And I just kept looking at it. I do this. That's it. Never be a chance for anything to get better. It can only get worse from there. From that point, if I pick that up and do that, girl I was seeing at the time, she was visiting with some friends, and she walks in. Are you all right? I'm like, no, I'm not. She's like, we're leaving, but she drove. We drove all the way back here and back to Louisiana, and we started looking for a place. Went back, packed everything up. We just got out of there because I'm like, I wasn't ready to be in a big city like that with none of the guys I served with. I was alone in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And heavy combat mechanized, we roll deep.
Yeah.
We roll heavy and deep.
You're alone in a foreign country on your home turf.
I wasn't ready for that. And both of us in the middle of Houston did not work well. I mean, that's when the fight started with us and arguments. And finally, she's the one that's like, let's go.
What were some things that you did to finally realize, look, this is enough, and I've got to do something? Did the military offer anything?
I tried to go to VA. I tried to go to VA in Houston. Sit in the psychologist's office. The first thing she does, I'm like, look, I'm having trouble sleeping.
Throw drugs.
Yep.
Throw medicine. Yep.
Trazodone and Celexa.
Mm-hmm.
After I got in the military, I tried to I don't want painkillers. Like wisdom teeth pulled, don't give me painkillers.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
want to risk addiction. I'm like, I can tough it out without that. And I get there, so I'm wary about medicine, so I read labels. And I start looking at it and cross-referencing it. It's like, wow, when you mix these two, you get suicidal.
Suicidal
This is the
ideation.
problem.
Yep.
Gave them back to him. Like,
Yeah.
No, I'll figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
And I turned to pot. I would smoke pot. And I found it makes you more docile. And I've talked to a bunch more Army buddies. It really helped them.
Yeah. But
But it's still a slippery slope.
it's still can't.
You can't get dependent on it. Like,
Right.
oh, I have to do this or I'm going to sleep. Because when you do stop, those dreams are coming back
Yeah.
tenfold. It's going to hit you like a brick wall. And like I've always joked, like when I stop, I'm like, yeah, I sleep in installments. Because it'd be like 2 hours of sleep that I'm wide awake. So I'm like, well, I'm awake. Might as well go do something.
Yeah.
And get up. Like, what needs to be done? Oh, I'm going to mop the house. Everyone in the house is sleeping and I'm cleaning the living room. Or I'll go do this. I'll work on this.
Hobbies too. You got to have a hobby. So the mental health. Any advice you want to give?
Talk to your brothers. That's what helped me.
Yeah, because I mean,
Talk to your military brothers. I'd rather have you call me today than hear your eulogy tomorrow. You need help, reach out. We got to do it for each other.
and you
We covered each other's backs in combat. We're in a civilian world. We're still brothers in arms.
but you know, so you guys went through all that and did that together, and come back home, see some of that. Might be speaking for myself, I don't know, but when you're out of that role, then you feel like you have to do it all and make it all happen the way it's supposed to go by yourself. I mean, you've been doing all this, you know, with your with your other guys, you know.
To get me to the point that I'm at, it's cost me a marriage. I share custody with my children. I don't go home to my children every night. But it's like being their mother. I mean, it wasn't anything rough. We sat down one day and it's like, hey, it's starting to affect the kids because we were fighting all the time. And what it was, the point of views weren't there.
Right.
Because she would bring up a problem and I'm like, that's nothing. Why are you even worrying about that? Like, I'd get mad at her for bringing up these issues. And she'd get mad because everything she brought to me, I'd just kind of brush it off. I'm like, the bills are paid. We got food to eat. No one's trying to kill us. We're good.
And people look
And
at,
it's like,
and people look at you like it's,
she needed more than that.
yeah. And they just look like, damn, that's morbid. But and just, you know, the way you see it now, it's just factual. I mean, hey.
And I'm sure she looks at it that you the lesson in how she feels.
Yeah.
You talking about, oh, that's not a big issue. Bills are paid. Nobody tried to kill us today.
Basic
Well,
survival needs.
Yeah. Well,
That's
her,
what my focus was on.
Yeah.
but
And
to
she
her,
needed more than that.
well, yeah.
And
Was
yeah,
it?
it was constant fights.
So how has the process been of you personally working through that?
It's gotten way better. And honestly, she's helped me a lot with it. You know, we sat down one night and talked it out. Oil and water.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm like, I still love you to death, but we don't mix. And it's starting to affect our son. Grades started slipping in school because he'd just hear us fight. I mean, he's in his room sleeping. We're on the other side of the house, but kid can hear it. Kids see that stuff. And you got to think of that. And
So-
that's what got us.
So those scars, those costs, all of that because you wanted to try to serve and do something better for something bigger than yourself.
Yep. And in turn, we were making scars,
Yeah.
emotional scars on our son. My daughter was young enough. She was a baby. She didn't
Yeah, she didn't know.
know. I mean, she talks about it now and she's like, Daddy, I remember when you used to live with, like, she doesn't,
Yeah.
she thinks that at one point I just lived with them. And it's like, it breaks my heart.
Yeah. And they're innocent, you know, and it affects everybody.
Yeah.
But at least you recognized it.
Well, me and her both recognize.
Right.
That's what that sit down. And we've had multiple sit downs
Right.
since then. And it's like, okay, we can't be together, but we can co-parent.
And that's good.
Maybe a lot healthier.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, we've even said it, you know, after she's made a comment to it, she's like, is it weird that, like, you're my best friend? My ex-husband is my best friend.
It's not weird.
And she makes the comment, she'll say, like, you know me better than my own mother. You know me better than anyone in the world. And it's like, well, we were together for 15 years.
Yeah.
And it's like, it kind of became that with your platoon buddies. But I mean, we were
Yeah.
working to separate purposes.
Yeah.
But we was still that familiarity.
And having worked through all that, do you ever feel like, you know, after having served the military and trying to take care of those who fought for it, in it, you ever felt like they just used you for what they needed disposed of you? Did you ever feel that way?
I don't agree with we went to Iraq. I don't think we should have invaded.
Yeah.
I look at it as did it for my brother. My brother's in arms. That's what I focus on.
That I hear that a lot.
It's the only way to justify it.
Yeah.
Like the hell we went through together. That's what it was about. That
You fought.
the guy on the left and the right of you.
You fought to protect them.
Yep. I mean, I didn't care about nation building.
Well,
I mean, I wouldn't go to another country and die for that country. Oh, well, they'll have democracy if I. No.
knowing and feeling how you feel now, if you could go back, would you do it again?
Yes. In a heartbeat.
Yeah.
yeah. That's a common answer.
Speaking of people not understanding, that's a crazy answer because, before I truly understood that people can't understand, and I would vent things. Don't tell me this. You have never seen this. You've never done this. You've never been here, and people looking at that, would you do it again? Knowing that, go, oh, I'd do it in a heartbeat. They're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah, there's something wrong.
Wait, okay, I'm not, 2 and 2's not adding up.
The perspective
But I get it.
The person I am today is the sum of every
Of
heartbreak,
everything, yes.
every joy,
Yes.
every sorrow,
Right.
every trial and
Right.
tribulation of my life.
You're right.
I am the sum of that.
You're right.
Which brings us to keep fighting the good fight, everybody who's listening. Keep fighting the good fight. Take care of your mental health. If you, whatever field you're in, take care of your mental health because in the end, it's worth it. It's worth it. We've all got a purpose to serve. We've all got to help each other. Help each other through the good and the bad. And keep fighting. Got to keep fighting and learning how to live peacefully and enjoy this life. I mean, we got one down here. That's all we can do. And learn from the heartbreaks and all the bad and take, but they say we've got to eat right and exercise and do this and do that. But nobody wants to talk about the mental health aspect, which is just as important, if not more important. I know mine, it affects all the rest of my physical body. And Damon, we thank you for sharing. And you guys, Damon's been through a lot, and I know there's a lot of other guys out there that have also. And love you guys, respect you guys and gals, and take care of your mental health. Damon, thank you.
Yeah, Damon, thank you.
Hey, and everyone, remember, when you're in that darkest spot, in that darkest moment, call on someone.
Yes. Yes.
Taking your life removes any chance of it getting better.
You've been
But there's always another day.
well, folks. We thank y'all for listening in. This is first episode of this podcast. We're going to be reaching out. We got next one. We're going to have Dannie talking about EMS, and we have a lot more special guests to join us from all walks of life and mental health professions. And stay tuned.